Hello, greetings, my friends. This is Gilles. I'm called to come back and continue to speak about the spiritual ascension path, share some ideas. Everything I share here in all those videos are tools I'm using in my life to share it and hope that they are useful to you for your evolution. That's what I use for my evolution. I'm going to be using also all those notes. I'm going to start keeping the notes I'm writing here to start a new book, number 2, a second book, and I will develop those ideas a lot more in the book. But I've been in YouTube for 6 years. I have 157 videos in English and 179 in French, but I don't really look back because it's like in the past. But there are a lot of interesting things in those videos. If I stop making them, you can always there may be things of interest there, and in a sense, a great understanding is that all those physical reality, what we call life and reality, is actually an illusion. Why is it an illusion? Because it changes all the time. Nobody knows. There is a continuation of all the programs that have been started are continuing, and it's like God is providing this flow, but we never know what's going to happen tomorrow. It's like the shifting sands of times. When the divine reality of love and truth within ourselves, the love of God within ourselves, is permanent, that is the truth. Whatever we receive from within should be more important than whatever the world is out there showing us. Right now I'm passing through a difficult time. My art, my paintings are in limbo, but the spirit is asking me. There's some of my spirit guys asking me to paint, but it's like completely impossible for me now. I just hope that I will be able to return to art and painting. For art is when you get a piece of art, it's a unique part of the artist's energy, and that's what art is. Art is a unique product. It's very different than most other products, although it doesn't seem essential. It is kind of important to me. I thank God that I had art in my life, in this lifetime. But very soon we're gonna be reborn. I feel I haven't burst yet, but Spirit says I will be reborn very soon. I wanted to speak about all those cravings that we get because of habitual things, like could be alcohol, tobacco, coffee, psychotropic product, pharmaceutical, sugar even. There is always, when we used to take this, we like it because there is a phase of exaltation. And then when the phase of exaltation eventually stabilizes, and eventually there is a down energy, and at which point there is a desire to return to a new phase of exaltation. That's why we take on a habit, and it becomes unconscious. For all those things are not wrong or bad, but they become a problem in our evolution because they are unconscious. It's not outside of our will to do those things. So the point is to, when we reach that point where there is a desire to return to something we know we do not want to do, first is to process, to accept, to release, to surrender, and to flow. To process, to accept, to release, to surrender, and to flow with the new energy. It's like we pass a wave, and then the craving passes, and then until the next one. But it's a process. We're learning to become master of ourselves, to become ascended master. We are being groomed to become fully responsible of our thoughts, of our words, of our deeds, and all our energies, to become dominant of all energies within ourselves. For some time we may believe we are, but we're not all that. Or otherwise we're already in this empowerment. For we have a role to play in the world, and it's very important to play the role that we came to play. But our true role is to be ourselves and to return to ourselves, the true self that we left when we came here. Before we came here, for you will love what we find when we find our soul. I've met my soul. It's such an amazing divine being, and then there was a curtain that went between us. But I can't wait to be reunited with my soul. For the soul was this great divine being that was created in the image of God. How powerful is that? For the God is perfect, God is eternal, God is infinite, God is sovereign, God is magnificent, and we were created just like that. But we accepted it was an insanity to decide to separate ourselves from the love of God, even for a moment, the time we come here on this planet. But we chose that mission because the earth was called on us to be here to assist humanity and the planet with its evolution. So we did that, and we're looking forward to the return. For the soul desire one thing is to grow, to learn, to expand, and we need to reintegrate the divine attributes, this white night of the soul, where we see all kinds of magical potential, but we do not know how to integrate it yet, so we feel like disconnected. But it is a good sign that we that we are getting closer. The key is to love yourself just as much as God loves you, for God loves all his children, and in an infinite matter. For God is only limited by his own will, by volition. If anything has limitation in time and space or whatever dimension, it is because God wanted it like this, because God has no limitation. He could have created the world. For he created many worlds, maybe very differently, but this world is a planet of cause and effect. We live in a magnetic universe that's based on dark energy, where matter and antimatter flow, and we decide whether we use positive antimatter, which is love, or negative antimatter, that is fear. And there is a pendulum of duality that swings, so we have to stop the pendulum in order to find the vertical axis, the point of light within ourselves, and so for it is like, for those who have been working on their ascension, it is like we're sitting on a plane right now and we're ready to take off. So it's like the plane is ready to take off. It's going to go into the tarmac, where you can imagine yourself in a plane near a lot of people, or it's free. Just envision yourself in this beautiful private jet where you're like you're very comfortably sitting, and you're given the order to the commander to take off. And so I was doing this visualization, and so I felt like there was many planes in front of us before we could even take off. But we received from the tower, we received the command and said, no, you're free and clear, you can take off. So it's like ready to take off, regardless of what this obstacle course I'm going through right now with the administration. They sent me like 10 miles there, and then, no, you need more paper, you need to go 10 miles there. Since I don't have a car, they took my car. So you have to go 10 miles there to get this one paper. And so I'm not going to get into the details, but another thing is that we are unique. We are one and unique. Unique means we are all one, but we are all singular. We are all different. And if we were not there, the universe would not exist as it is. So we are all part of all that is, and we are extremely important. Just the famous and rich people are just as important as the poorest people in society, and which is not the case in our society. But to the spirit, everybody is just as important going through this whatever process, and everybody is awakening. So it is important for this visualization of the plane to turn off your cigarettes, to prepare your seat belt, and to get comfortably seated in the upright position. We live in a world that has many shadows, but for the shadows to exist, the light has to be there. If there was no light, there could be no shadows. There would be only darkness, which is not the case. So understand, when we turn towards the light, the shadows are in the past, in the back, and so we do not see. So it's always to look to visualize a great central sun, or the sun, and move towards the sun to create this rainbow bridge that will allow us to ascend. In understanding also that God works on every level, on every field. He works in the good, he works in the bad, he works in the heavy, he works in the light, he works in the pure, he works in the impure. For God is always pure, and always it always presents itself as this magnificent God. In our experience is the highest thought and the most beautiful emotion, and so. But he works on every level, and he utilizes everything for growth and evolution. Our soul was created in the image of God, and this eternal purity, and it draws in information from the cosmic mind, from Allah, from the Great One. So it's like, with the assistance of God, it's drawing all those timelines. It's like you're utilizing like the clay. It's like it uses clay to create bodies and in different places and dimensions and planets, and it plays with all that in order to gain as much as possible from the experience. And so what we want is to retrieve this love and light of the divine source, so that we can be who we are, for we are to become one with the source. And for there is one, as the master of wisdom taught used to say, it's one God, one truth, one point of freedom. One God, when you think of God, then one truth, whatever truth is what we know of God, for we do not know the truth, but we have certain, and then from there what we can let go and find this point of freedom that is what we seek. For God, all is energy, and the gods are just spending their time manipulating energy for the evolution of the whole. For He created all creatures out of energy, and all planes of reality out of energy. For it is not, it is difficult to understand the unity of all, but it is all the visible energy and the invisible energy, or the pure and the impure. The matter and the antimatter, for all is part of truth, all is part of all that is. And this is the philosopher Empédocle from the 6th century BC that discovered that infinity will lie within all things and all beings. Or Pascal, the French philosopher from the 17th century, that he tried to explain that God is everywhere. It's not just in the church. It wasn't very easy for people to understand that at the time. I'm going to pull a few cards from the Angel Tarot. Wow. This is very contrasted. For the past is departure, it's living. We're living an old reality and getting ready to move into a new one. The present situation is wealth. It's the card of wealth, so abundance and wealth. We have to activate the potential to receive wealth and to be the manifestation of wealth. And what is coming in the near future is healing. So it's the card of healing. What we're working on right now is abundance. And what is coming up in the near future is a test and trial. It's a tribulation. It is, but communication. It is important to communicate and to be as clear as possible with short chakra. To be as honest and sincere and true in relationship to that, and pass through the trials with as much grace and ease as possible. For God knew everything before He even started to create the universe. He already knew all that is, and He already knows the future of the universe and the cosmos. But He did not have the experience of it. So now He's getting involved in the experience, in the development of free will creatures, so that we can... for it's a grandiose experience, and we eventually will learn to act as one with God. Will be first we move from darkness into light, from impure into pure, from heavy into light, like the Buddha. God explained in the Truth by God that the Buddha has slowly but surely eliminate all the impure and heavy from his experience. Is only pure, is only light. Since he abandoned impurity and darkness, he is still missing a part of truth, because within the truth of the reality of the evolving universe, there is both ignorance and lucidity, darkness and light. So he explains that for the Buddha, the Shiv Nirvana and ascension, the more he will go into impure sphere, the more his aura will shine, and the more pure he will become, until his vibration will be able to vibrate on the frequency of truth. But for us that are still working, we cannot study the impure and the untrue, because we fall into it. So we first have to purify ourselves and reach this plane of reality. Then we'll be called to reintegrate the wholeness of truth, and then we'll be able to become with God, to create galaxies and star systems and planets, and we'll create civilization, and we'll play this great game of creation on a much higher level. And so for everything, I feel everything is going to shift from black to white all of a sudden, and it's like so it's like we have to get ready for that and prepare the change, and try to stay positive and focused inside. And because yes, I mentioned that, but to come here and to feel that for any one moment we want to separate ourselves from the divine love of God, I feel it is complete insanity. How can we ever choose to do that? But the plan was approved right from the start. Our own spiritual group tested out we approved the process. We knew we were going to suffer through the process, but the finding the outcome of returning to the source and to that great eternal love will be so pleasant that it will make the whole process worthwhile. Huh? So we have to be patient and continue to cultivate that energy. I'm going to pull a few cards. The highest wisdom is ordinariness, is to find the beauty and grace and miracle within the ordinary aspect of life. For life is filled with miracle, always. And life is a miraculous event. What we need to understand is control. We have to let go of those control. We can only control so much. We have to control our own craving and desires. For that is part of what is within our control. But there's so many things that are completely outside of our control that we have to let go of in order for us to find this surrender and this flow. What we need to do is the healing. We need to heal. We need to accept the healing and to let go of those things that are preventing the full transformation. It's a lot of releasing that is going on. And the outcome will be maturity. The mirror of life is beginning to show a different level of reflection because of our level of maturity that we have achieved through that process. I'm going to finish with a little song, then I'm going to go into my appointments of the day. This, although Spirit is saying maybe I won't need it, so but I feel like compelled because it's like very, very shaky right now, my physical reality. And so I'm going to sing a song. It's a romantic song. It goes like this. Close your eyes and I kiss you. Tomorrow I'll miss you. Remember, I'll always be true. And then while I'm away, I'll ride home every day, and I'll send all my loving to you. I'll pretend that I'm kissing the lips I am missing, and I hope that my dreams will come true. And then while I'm away, I'll ride home every day, and I'll send all my loving to you. All my loving I will send to you. All my loving, darling, I'll be true. Close your eyes and I'll kiss you. Tomorrow I'll miss you. Remember, I'll always be true. And then while I'm away, I'll ride home every day, and I'll send all my loving to you. All my loving I will send to you. All my loving I will send to you. Sometimes I feel I'm writing home every day to my paradise self. I'm trying to get some insight from there, because I'm trying to get guidance on my physical path, but the only thing I get is this path of abundance and miraculous life that is probably before me, and I'm really glad of that. But I have to find the bridge between this reality to the next one, and it is completely out of my control. So I just got to align and just wait for it to come. So there's nothing for me to do about it. So it's a challenge. The card of the day is the Knight of Michael, strong, devoted, intellectual, and applied. It is time to move to the next gear. The logic must overcome the emotion, sudden change. So things is very much a kind of intuition, everything will change suddenly from black to white. I wish you a wonderful day. Thank you for everything, and I'll talk to you later. Namaste.